Hello everybody and welcome to Wesley's Plant World with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I am out in my garden here amongst my Hosta collection this year, and it's June 2023. And this area of my garden is called Joachim's Corner, and this is where I have my collection of lots of different varieties and species of Hosta plants, and I absolutely love them. They are one of my absolute most favorite plants because they are so robust. These plants have been out in these plastic pots all year again, all winter, and we've had some very cold nights here to around minus 15 degrees, and they have all bounced back. Apart from one that I had called Hosta White Feather, that one disappeared, but it was also struggling when I bought it last year as a bare root plant, and well, completely white leaves. It didn't do very well. But apart from that one, every single one of my hostas has bounced back. Not a single one has been lost. So I'm really, really pleased about that. And at the moment, they're still looking very good. They have got some nibbling holes in them from the slugs. That is inevitable. But apart from that, they're really looking good. So I want to take you in for a quick closer look at all of these hostas, because in this video, I want to show you how I pot up and split my Hosta Wheee that I bought last year. And you can see a video where I bought this plant. It had lovely big leaves. This year it's doing very slow because I haven't been at my cottage now for around 3 weeks, and all of my hostas here are basically bone dry, and this is a result of that. So they're doing very well. I'm going to give them a thorough watering later. I've had this standing in water overnight, this one here, to help it, and I'm going to repot it, and then it should start flushing out its lovely long wrinkly leaves. So if you haven't seen that video where I bought this plant, go back and see that and you'll see exactly what it's going to look like in the future. So let's have a quick look now at all of these hostas, and then I can get on to the repotting of my Hosta Wheee. So let's go around and have a look at these hostas, but on the way, just have a look at my beautiful Japanese maple here. Isn't that a beautiful colour? Oh, I'm so pleased about that. And it's growing very well in this lovely white pot here next to my Hosta collection. So we'll just quickly race around. Look at these big, beautiful leaves on this plant and how big they're getting compared to my hand. This beautiful coloration here. This one is my favourite, and I showed you this when I bought this in a video as well. It's very tall. The only problem with this one though is that it's getting munched quite a lot by the slugs, but apart from that, it's absolutely beautiful. And then look at the yellow margin on this gorgeous hosta, and then this one with this lovely veining going on in the leaves, and this one here that's decided to produce a yellow white edging. So I'm going to split and put that in another pot. Another beautiful hosta here. Beautiful coloration on this one. This one with a white margin. Cute little one that I need to repot into a bigger pot. These miniatures. And so many different beautiful plants going on here. Look at all of these. And then these hostas from the back side. And if I should sit down here, you can see my beautiful maple there as well. Look at that, it's just amazing. And then how tall this hosta here is. And then the smaller ones. And then on the other side, lots of lovely colours going on. Look at this lovely one. Oh, it's a bit windy now. I like this one. little one here. Look at the colour on this one, it's quite striking and shiny. And then this one, and then this huge one here. Look at this beauty. I love that. I love the shape of the leaves on this one. This one's coming out beautifully here. That leaf. Cute little one here. Another lovely one. Look at the patterning on this leaf. Just gorgeous. And then this one. And this one. So that is a lot of my hostas. So now at the same time I do actually just want to quickly show you some that I planted out in Silver Way over here on the other side of our Crystal Drive. This with huge leaves. Now look at my hand. Look at my hand and look at the size of this leaf. This is called Hosta Empress Wu. And I split it and planted it out here. One down there that hasn't come out very well this year, and then another big one here. And actually, I planted two pieces in the middle. And then amongst the rocks you can see I have a few more hostas coming up. And at the back over there behind the boulder. So I'm going to put more hostas in here because this has worked out fantastically. So I really hope you enjoyed seeing what my hostas are looking like this year, and there are many of my hostas here that I'm going to be going in and splitting and replanting in the same pots so that I get fuller pots next year, because when you split all of the pups that are growing on one mother plant, then those will start producing more pups of their own in the same pot. You can keep them growing as a bunch in the middle of the pot, and that's absolutely fine and enjoy that look. But I want the whole pot to be filled out. So many of these I will be doing that with. And the pot I showed you with my plant that has green leaves and one that has produced an offshoot or a different variety of that plant with a white margin, I'm going to be splitting that into two separate pots because now I have a whole new hosta variety. So it has to be in its own pot because that's what I like. This needs to look like a collector's corner. So anyway, let me get on now with the repotting of my Hosta Wheee. So before I do the repotting, I just want to show you the plant closer up. This is what it's looking like now. It's dripping with water underneath. As I said, I've left it soaking. But this is the result of a plant in a pot that's too small, that was bone dry as the plant was growing out. It's only managed to come out this much, but it's still fighting on and doing well. And I have a lot of different segments that I can spread into a thicker pot and get me a nice thicker plant next year. So let's get on with this. And because it's been struggling, I can see there are a few little bugs and things on it, but that is something that can be sprayed off with water, and then this plant will do absolutely fine. So now let me get to the fun part, which is splitting this up and repotting it. So right, how do I plant up my hostas? Well, quick and easy. And this time it's really quick and easy because I have this pot with soil in it already, and this is the pot I have my Hosta White Feather in. It was a small plant, and well, I can reuse this pot with this soil, and I have my bark on top that I can just remove, and this will go very quickly and easily, putting these separate pieces all around in this pot here. So I need to just remove the bark, so I'm going to put this pot here on the side and save the bark. And at the same time, I do actually have a geranium coming up in here from seed, and I want to keep those. So I'll put those to the side for a minute, and then I can plant those out in my garden later. Right, so remove the layer of bark. I always put bark around the top of the soil around my hostas to keep them insulated and to keep the moisture in the soil. and they seem to really enjoy that. You've seen my hostas, they're doing very well. The soil itself, these plants aren't very fussy at all. So you can just go and get yourself a gardening mix and plant them in that if you don't have anything else. You can fertilize your plants every now and again. And I actually don't fertilize mine very often at all, and you can see the result of them. That's up to you. But the important thing is that the soil is free draining. So a good idea is, and what I've done here, is get a gardening mix and then add some fine sand. You can add some lacquer balls into the mix just to loosen it up and so forth. And my soil here is just like that. It's full of lacquer balls in here. I can see sand and the soil, and then the bark that's on top that might move down into the soil at the same time. So at the moment, I'm just wanting to loosen up the soil and take the old root ball out. It was tiny, so that hosta really didn't use this soil very much, and that's why I can reuse it for this other plant perfectly. So now this is loose and airy. No problem with that. So I'll move it to the side on my chair a minute, because now I need to get my hosta out of this pot so that I can start breaking it up. And it has a lot of roots, so it's going to be difficult to get out of this pot. I just want to show you that quickly. So you can see this plant is desperate to be put into a bigger pot. And when you're doing this, you really don't have to fuss too much about the plant's roots. These are very resilient plants. I mean, that's why I love them so much as well. You can do this any time of the season. So I'm doing this in June. And these plants behind me, some have grown out fully, some are still on their way up, some are still small, like this one. And I can go in and split them just as I like, put them back in the pots, water them. They will act like nothing's happened. That's how good these plants are. So any time of the season, you can do this. I know you're going to see this many other places, or only do this in the autumn time when they're going dormant again, or only do it in the early spring when you can see them emerging. This is a bit difficult. So I found that I can do this any time of the year, and my plants, they do really well. So that is why I'm just telling you, don't be too afraid, don't fuss about this, just get on with it basically. Now I am going to, this pot, this plastic pot is really in the roots, so I'm going to rip it off, and this is quite hard and ripping the roots apart, but there we go, got rid of that. Right, now I have my plant, and I can decide how many segments I want to plant in my pot. There's still lots more coming up, so this is great. Before I plant it, I want to show you again all of these roots. So there you go, look at the roots. Lots and lots of roots and lots of plants. And the thing about hostas is every single rosette is a new plant. Whether they're connected or not, you can saw between those and you will get a whole new plant out of it. So in this pot, I have so many. I just think this is so much fun, and I love splitting these plants and doing stuff with them because they are just so amazing. So basically you look for where you have a path in the middle of the plants so you don't damage them, and you saw. Now sometimes you're going to saw too close to a rosette and you're going to break it or lose leaves or so forth. That's just the way it is. Most pots have so many plants in them that you will get something out of it anyway, and you can save the root ball, that part, and it will come up next year anyway. So look here, I've cut this into 2 pieces now, and I haven't lost a single plant out of it. That is just 2 whole plants if I want to put that in 2 pots, just like that. And I want to make sure I split it more because I want more plant coming out next year. So I'm going to split this into 4 and then plant 4 different plants in my same pot. So here we go. The cake is getting split again. Rip those roots, and there we go. 2 more plants. Absolutely no problem with those. And then my last one, I'll do this in 2 as well. Where should I do it? This one seems a bit difficult to find a pathway, but I've found one here. So let's just do this. Saw. And there we are. I'm done. Look at this. I'm going to show you now what I've done. 4 different plants. So look how quick and easy it is. 4 different plants, all have a huge big root ball, and None of them have been broken on the sides. They are fabulous. They're going to fill out my pot even more than being just one clump in the middle. So this is why this is a great plant as well if you want to share or do swaps or give away or do what you want. These plants give you the opportunity to do things like that. So now I can remove all my tools. I can bring back my pot and I can plant in my 4 pieces. Excavate a hole, plant them in to the same height that they are growing out, and then you'll be absolutely fine. So there's one there, soil around that. And then I can go over here, just make a hole. And then plant one more in there, put the soil back around that. One there. And then I can put another one over here. And this is going to look like there's a lot of space in this pot this year. But when they grow out their leaves bigger later, either later in this season or next season, this whole pot will be covered in leaves that will reach out further because I've split the plant. So one more here, make some space, and then I will be done. It's just that quick and easy with hostas. I just love them. They're just so amazing. I can't get enough of them. I want to get as many as I can, and there are over 2,000 species and varieties to be had. So you can collect many different types. Not all would survive in the situation I have here in Sweden. There are different types that need a warmer environment, a more humid environment, a colder environment. There are hostas with different needs, but essentially many are available that work in a normal garden environment. So that is my hostas planted up, and now they're going to start growing out much better, that they've been rehydrated. Take some of these horrible leaves off the bottom here. A good thing about working outside is you can just rip leaves off and things like that and just throw them. They become part of the nutrients for whatever's around, and here it's grass. So there we go. Now I just need to cover the top up with my bark. Let's see if I have enough here, otherwise I do have more. This is going to make them look lovely and cozy and healthy and good. There we go. I do actually want some more, so I need to get myself some more bark, which I have right here. So I really do want to make sure that these plants are cozy and can stay moist. Clean my pot off, make everything look nice. So there we go, I'm done. It was that quick and easy. I just want to bring the pot in so you can see clearer what it looks like, and then I'm going to give this a thorough watering and cleaning off over and put it in a spot with the rest of my hostas. So let's have a closer look at what these are looking like now. So look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Spread out, lots of space to grow out lots of new rosettes and become a lovely big bushy plant for me. This has worked out very well and very easy. So this is what I wanted to show you with hostas. How easy and wonderful they are. And I'm going to be doing this with a couple more of my hostas behind me, replanting them, because I have some that are in pots that are way too small for them, and they're going to dry out if I don't get them in the pot with some bark on top of them to keep them moist. So I hope this has inspired you to go out and find yourself some beautiful hostas of your own, because there are so many absolutely wonderful varieties. And don't be afraid, as I said, to go in and chop them up when you get your pot home and make yourself either many more pots or spread them out in a bigger arrangement, or cut them up and put them back in the same pot as I have, so that you can ensure you'll get lots more rosettes and lots more plants and lots more leaves coming up to fill out a whole pot. So thank you very much once again for watching this video. Please remember to like, subscribe and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be coming up. And I will see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.